The question that I'm going to be looking at today is, what do I think of other religions? So let's take a look. You see, while I think there can be a lot of good in other religions and have nothing against people who follow other religions, the Bible is pretty clear. It says that there is only one way to get close to God, and that is through Jesus. Jesus himself says to his disciples, as he's teaching them about how he's getting ready to prepare himself for the cross and to go and prepare a place for them, and he'll be leaving them soon, but will return to bring them to that place. The disciples ask, well, how do we know? How do we get to the place where you are going? And Jesus says this, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. And that's from John chapter 14, verse 6. So Christianity is very exclusive. It says there is only this one way to get to know God, and that one way is through Jesus. There are some religions and belief systems in the world that exploit and harm others. And this happens all over the world, in places where people even claim to be Christians, but don't actually follow God's way to live. Now, I can't claim to love God and love others and accept those systems that hurt or exploit others. But then there are religions and belief systems that have a moral code, which is a way of living that is a good way for human beings to live, which is built upon kindness and respect and love, and those genuine things. Now those actually have quite a lot of similarities with how Christians are told we should live through the Bible. I admire people who wholeheartedly follow and dedicate their lives to the things that they believe in, whether it's their religion or some sort of moral code. I think that takes a lot of hard work, sacrifice, and dedication. So that's worthy of respect, right? And there are lots of things actually in lots of religions that share those similarities with Christianity. They have those moral codes, the way that people should live. However, Christianity isn't just about being a good person. And if it was just about being a good person, then every religion could be a way to God, because we could then all follow a different code of rules and they would have those similarities. Don't do this, but do this. And we would all eventually, through different paths, get to God. And that's kind of how people view different religions. Except that's not really how Christianity works at all. Let's take a look at this example. Now, I want you to imagine a great, enormous field, and the owner of this field, the farmer, has said that he will hold a huge celebration in this field. So he sends out all these invitations to people he wants to invite, to everyone, basically. And he says, in these invitations, this is the way that you get to the field. You have to go through this path, and you have to come in through this gate. There is no other way into the field. Now, he's written these instructions so that people don't get lost along the way, so that people don't get hurt, so that people can't take advantage of others on the way to this great celebration in the field. What would the farmer do or say about people who tried to get in another way, who perhaps took a way that was too dangerous? Would they even make it to the field? What about people who tried to climb in another way? Would the farmer be pleased with those people that they had ignored those instructions? Would they even be able to get in the first place if they didn't come through the way where the farmer has said, this is the way into the field? In fact, Jesus himself uses this kind of imagery when he's telling people how to come close to God. He even calls himself the gate. This is what he says. I tell you the truth. Anyone who sneaks over the wall of a sheepfold, rather than going in through the gate, must surely be a thief or a robber. But the one who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep recognize his voice and come to him. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. After he has gathered his own flock, he walks ahead of them, and they follow him because they know his voice. They won't follow a stranger. They will run from him because they don't know his voice. Those who heard Jesus use this illustration didn't understand. So he explained it to them. I tell you the truth, I am the gate for the sheep. And that's from John chapter 10. So in Jesus' example, we are the sheep and he is the shepherd and the gate. You see, Jesus is trying to explain that the only way for sin to be forgiven, now sin is all of the things that we think or say or do that means we don't match up to God's standard of perfection. The Bible explains that this is a problem that everybody has. Jesus says the only way that sin can be forgiven is through him. We can't sort it out ourselves. It's a problem none of us can fix. Just like the sheep can't open the sheep gate by themselves, they need a shepherd to lead them to safe pasture. We need someone to lead us. And Jesus says that that's him. He is the shepherd and he is the gate. He is the way and the one who leads us through that way. So this is the key difference between Christianity and all of the other religions. In every belief system, apart from Christianity, and this is something that Christians sometimes do even though we know we shouldn't, every other religion is about human beings trying to work their way to perfection by following certain rules. And that idea of perfection could be a deity, being close to that deity, or it could be a state of mind or a state of being. It's all about us trying to climb up that ladder to perfection. But Christianity actually turns that upside down. Instead of us trying to reach God, in Christianity, God reaches us. Jesus is God living among us, leading us from where we are now and making it possible for us to be part of God's family. That state of perfection can be made through Jesus, but not by ourselves. So instead of us trying to reach God, it's God reaching us. And that's what it comes down to. If Jesus is telling the truth when he says, I am the shepherd and the gate, then there really is only one way to get to God, and that's through Jesus. So yes, I respect other people and the beliefs that they hold, but at the same time, I believe that the peace that they might be looking for, or the answers they're searching for, or that state of perfection that they're striving for, can only be found in Christianity, can only be found in God through what Jesus has done on the cross. Now, it can sound really arrogant to say things like this, especially in this day and age when we're encouraged to be tolerant of other people and other beliefs. However, if there were other ways for us to get to God, then either Jesus was lying or he was mad, and either way he died for nothing. And when I read Jesus in the Bible, I don't see someone who is mad, and I don't see him ever lying either. In my day-to-day life, God wants me to share his love with others. Other Christians, people of other religions, people of no religion. There are no exceptions, no matter how differently we might think or feel or see the world. And I also think I can learn a huge amount from people of other religions. I can learn about their dedication, I can learn about the way they speak to their gods and the things that they believe in, learn about the way that they put their faith into action. Those things can teach and inspire me as well, and God can teach me things through those people, and things that maybe I wouldn't know without that. It's like looking at the world through a different lens. We can always learn from one another. But we cannot compromise on who Jesus is and what he has done for us. If the Bible is true, then Jesus is the only way that we can be close to God.